want it like this. I want it like this. 1 second. Why is it doing this? Man, oh man, why is it saying rotate device? It doesn't want me doing it that way. But I don't want it to, I didn't want it to be this way. I like doing videos this way. Hey, how you doing, Paul? How you doing, Lee? How you doing? Right, I'm Glastonbury. This is Glastonbury. This is actually Glastonbury. So let's just show you a little bit more Glastonbury. This is one of the fields here. The tent's going up. There you go. It's a charging tent over there. Hello there. All right. And you can tell I'm at Glastonbury because there's actually a tent over here, which is the old John Peel tent. It's not called the John Peel tent anymore, but you can see I'm at Glastonbury. I'm not so at some random campsite, and I've got my Glastonbury wristband, which is all good. Ooh, late morning brew. Yeah, I meant to do it at 9:30, and we arrived at the site, and I couldn't get any internet. Couldn't get any internet at all. If you can, Nick and Diff is saying, hey, portrait video is a crime against humanity. I know, I agree. Why is it doing it portrait? I demand to know why it's doing it portrait. I don't normally do it portrait. I feel like I should start again and we'll actually do it not in portrait. Should we do that? Should we start again? Does anyone mind if we start again? Morning, Peter Carter from Lanzarote. Graham has become in real life streamer. You're right next to the disabled. No, I'm actually in the disabled camping field. Yeah, we've got a bit of space here, as you can see at the moment, which is nice. Give it a whirl. Okay. Oh, are you saying to give it a whirl as in you don't want me to just turn around? I don't know why it's not letting me. Right, we're going to sit down by my tent and we're going to talk politics. I'm happy with portrait. You might not get back online, says Nick and Nick Diff. Okay, well, let's do it. And also on portrait, I can see more of your comments on the screen at once, because normally I can only see like 4 or 5. So heading over to oh no, my flag has fallen down. Oh, that was working so well up to that point. It's a big yellow flag, and I don't know if you can see it. Oh, that's the wrong side. Let's go on this side, and it says da 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 F the Tories. There you go. So look out for this on look out for it on the BBC. So we're trying to go and get it. We're going to try and get it on the Beeb. Hey, I'm streaming.
Hey, maybe.
Streaming. I'm extremely streaming. Yeah. So Graham and his flag. We've got some other flags as well. We've got like mini flags for like not the pyramid stage. We've got hang on. What I'll do is very cleverly, not James cleverly, I'll get my tripod out and I'll put my phone on my tripod. There you go. That'll work, won't it? I think it'll work. Maybe, I know what you're thinking, maybe I should have done this before I started streaming, but here's the thinking, right? I thought it's coming up to 11:30. We just put our tent up, and if I don't start streaming really soon, then I can't call it morning brew, and I don't have a graphic saying afternoon tea or something. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Right, so let me just get these. I'm just setting up a tripod for you, and then I just need to be very clever. Jump in my bag and see if I can find the little thing for holding my phone. That would help, wouldn't it? Pull out all my tech stuff out of my bag here. Batteries, lights, camera, action. Nice. There we go. I will read your comments in a moment. Good morning. Why is Starmer expanding the House of Lords? I don't know. I thought he was getting rid of it. Okay, right. Literally throwing everything out my bag here. It's a good thing to do. Oh, got a little light. If I want to film something properly, like a grown-up. I'm going to use all my batteries on this, aren't I? Aha! There you go. It's a little thing for holding you. Oh, do you know what? I don't think I can do this in Portugal. Oh, I can actually. I just need to put my tripod to one side. It's never easy, is it? I recommend check out the wood and pot back there if you're allowed. It's lovely in the heat. The trees keep it cool if they're still there. Yeah, they're still trees. I mean, they haven't chopped down the trees, thankfully. That would really suck, wouldn't it, if they cut down all the trees so Glastonbury could happen. Greetings from New York. That's from Colin. Hey, Colin, how you doing, mate? I'm at Glastonbury. Duke Vengeance has been researching the submersible story. Yeah, I don't think they're going to make it, guys. I don't want to be a Mr. Doom and Gloom, but yeah, it was a bit of a dicey proposition at the best of times. And we've got Aki's Mad in there. We've got Alec Moss saying it's a lovely day. It is, in fact, a lovely day. Kat, could you put that on there? Could you put that into the... Sorry. Yes, like there's a little key there and you just turn it. Okay. Right. I'm going to be with you very, very, very soon. This is a live feed from Glastonbury. But unfortunately, I'm not as prepared as maybe I should have been. There we go. Ah, right. Dun, 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 dun. Ah. Just hold that for a moment. Thank you, my glamorous assistant is holding my phone for me, and then I should be able to do this and this.
Was living a properly professional job today?
Properly professional job. That's right. That's right, Kat. Right, brilliant. Right, now you are on a tripod. Yes, I should have done that beforehand, shouldn't I? Now I'm going to make the tripod a little bit shorter so I can see you. There we go. Woo! Right. Great, right. Okay, so I'm going to go through your messages, as many as I can. They're completely filling up the page, actually, which is fun. David Faulkner's there. There's been a lot of tasteless jokes in regard to this menacing mini-sub. I really don't know how people could sink so low. David, thank you very much for the super chat. What can I say? Hello, folks, live from Glasgow. Wonderful, yes. Now, I'm going to be doing a few of these throughout the day. Hopefully, I'll be streaming live from the Nomad stage later on today, where I'm going to be appearing on stage with many awesome people like Supertansky and Danny effing Price and Aid Thompson, amongst others. I hope, if they're here. I don't even know if they're here yet, but we will see. So that starts at 3 o'clock. Where's the flag? Says Vendetta. Here's the flag. Here's the flag. Vendetta. I'll have to. It's massive. It's absolutely massive. So you can get an impression of it there.
Do you want a hand so the whole thing shows up?
Yeah, if you can do that. I don't know if you can. My glamorous assistant is going to show it there. There you go. That's the flag. Look out for it on the telly boxes. Thank you, Kat. Oh, that's brilliant. Awesome. Thank you, Kat. Thank you kindly. Yes. We've also got some other flags. We've got some smaller flags, just in case. We've got a Holly Willoughby. Are you okay? Firstly, are you okay? Are you okay? And we've also got one to celebrate the departure of Boris Johnson from British politics. A nice little bye-bye TWAT. So there you go. So look out for those flags. They'll be about. We have a few flagpoles. No coffee this morning. No coffee. I've got beer. Got Carlsberg. I've always said I've posted a picture of the aftermath. It was like the sacking of the Shire. I've come in halfway through that conversation, Rory. Sorry, I missed your first message. But yeah, after Glastonbury, you mean? Yeah, it's a bit like that. Right-wingers, they're an inflatable boat full of refugees trying to cross the channel, block the RNLI from launching lifeboats. Yeah, exactly. But also save some billionaires. We've got a submarine with a load of rich playboys and millionaires, send in the full military resources of the US and Canada to save them. Yeah, look, having spent some time at sea on cargo ships and stuff, I've come to appreciate the vastness of the ocean, and guys, it's pretty bloody vast to say the least, and so I don't think there's much chance. I mean, because trying to find a small boat on the water when it's literally on the water is hard enough, and that's basically on one dimension, isn't it? It can only be on the water. But when you've got 4 kilometers down and the light only penetrates the first 200-300 meters or something, I mean, like, once you're beyond that, it's complete darkness. So yeah, sorry anyone who's holding out hope. I don't think it's going to happen, but if they do get saved, it will be a Hollywood movie. I guarantee. Carlsberg, you heathen. What are you talking about, Nick and Diff? Carlsberg's what they drink at the end of the movie of Ice Cold and Alex. Not in the book, but in the movie. Morning, says Scoopin. And Boriface is gone. Sad. Yes, sad face. Carlsberg beer, are you sure? Well, it's a bit like having sex on a boat. It's effing close to water. What a daft way to end up in David Jones' locker. Well, yeah, with a Logitech controller. People say, no, it's got an Xbox controller, and it was like a wireless Logitech controller. And if you go on the Amazon reviews of this Logitech controller, it is seriously like it's like, I kept dying using this thing, and I'm like, okay, you're talking about a video game, yeah? I definitely wouldn't use one in real life. You know the seas because you were once a pirate, says HK. Well, I met a few. I did actually meet some Somali pirates when I was in Salah in Oman. Yeah, they had joined the other side. They were like former pirates who had sort of joined the side of the righteous or something. You would think they would put GPS on that sub. I don't think GPS can penetrate down into the water that far. 3,800 meters down in a tin can, yeah, nearly 4,000 meters or 4 kilometers. I have no effect on calling. It comes out the same as it goes in. I'm trying to get through everyone's message here, but I'm gonna have to skip a few because there's too many. But if you do want me to definitely read the message, if you drop a super chat in, I'll be very appreciative, and I promise I will spend it on beer. As a qualified rescue driver, I have to say, if they were unable to save themselves, they were already dead, says Simon. Yeah, I'm not a qualified diver, but I know divers, and they're pretty much said the same thing. Ale, Graham, says Nick and Diff. Ale is what you should be drinking, or cider, not Carlsberg, ye gods, man. Nick, there is a cost of living crisis going on. I can't afford expensive booze, although I do think we have a plastic bottle of cider, because we're classy like that. It might be White Lightning. Carlsberg, £18 18 cans for £11 in Tesco. Exactly. I got these from Lidl, actually. I think they were even cheaper than that. The deepest submarine crew that has been rescued were 1,500 feet down. The last location was 12,000. Yeah, exactly. Good to see you keeping up the Tennant Special Brew. Well, that was going to be the joke this morning, that it was going to be like Special Brew. It's just me in a park somewhere drinking Tennant. They're doomed, says Click. I saw that controller around the early 2000s and even 90s, indeed. And the difference between the Somali pirates and Tories? Yes, Colin. Yes, there is. The Somali pirates have a lot of sympathy, a strange amount of sympathy amongst the people who actually go out there and are on these cargo ships and things, because they were fishermen. They were people just going about their business, catching fish. But as a result of the instability in Somalia, it meant you had hundreds and hundreds of miles of coast that wasn't being patrolled by a coast guard or a navy, and as a result of that, fishermen came from all over the world, a lot from China, and they scooped up all the fish that lived in the shallows beside the country. And I sometimes explain this, but like, you tend to think of the sea as being full of fish. It's not. Like most of the deep sea, there's no nutrients for the fish to eat. They can't swim down to the bottom. They don't live there. If you're in the deep ocean, you might see some turtles, you might see some sharks, you might see some dolphins and whales, so big things that can actually move about a bit, and jellyfish maybe, but which can live off the nutrients in the water. But most of those sort of colourful tropical fish that you see, but even like tuna and stuff like that, they tend to live in shallower water, which means coastline. So that's good for fishermen in a way, because it means they don't have to go so far out into the water unless they go to a shallow in the sea. So when I was on one of the ships going around the South Pacific, we actually stopped at one point because we were too early coming in. So they stopped the motor, they turned the engine off, and we just drifted over a shallow, and all the crew got their fishing rods out and put the fishing rods over the side because they knew they'll catch some fish there, which they did. There's a photo of me like holding a fish, like I caught it, I didn't catch it. But yeah, all the fish were gone. You had the Somali pirates, and they were like, oh my God, like, we can't feed our family anymore. And they were there in this unstable country that had been flooded with AK-47s from other civil wars around Africa and also from the Middle East. And they were like, well, we've got easy access to AK-47s, and we've got a boat, and we've got, you know, nautical knowledge of how to get around the Indian Ocean. Let's go take some boats. And what's interesting about the Somali pirates is they didn't actually steal stuff from the boats necessarily. I mean, they might have stolen some crew artifacts or whatever. crew, you know, their underpants and things like that. But generally speaking, they didn't open up the cargo and steal what was in the cargo. They held the ship hostage. So if you get taken by hostages in the Malacca Strait between Malaysia, Singapore, and Indonesia, they'll take all the stuff off the boat. They'll open up all the containers they can get into and steal whatever's in there. But the Somali pirates weren't interested in that. They held the crew, and people could be held for months. But yeah, I met at least two people on different ships that have been kidnapped by Somali pirates, and they were surprisingly like chill about it. Yeah. There you go. Great, we need to drink Scrumpy Jacks. I will be later. We're going to go off and get some of that. Thatcher's is cheap, yeah, but it's called Thatcher's. I'd love to be in the park with you. It's not a park, it's Glastonbury. I'm literally working in the rain. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. It's very sunny here at Glasgow at the moment. It's not raining. Any Labour news? No, someone put in the chat earlier that Starmer was putting some people into the House of Lords for some bloody reason, when aren't they planning to abolish it? But yeah, I don't know. Yo, Graham, Jazzy, your Glastonbury. Petty of me, I know. Have a great time. P.S. F the Tories. Look, if I wasn't at Glastonbury last year and I was seething with jealousy of the people who were, especially as Paul McCartney was playing, and as a Scouser, obviously it's not just the Beatles, but you know, the special place in my heart. And I missed it. We didn't get tickets. So. Also, Aldi, go for a beer, £1 a can if you get the boxes. Yes, absolutely. If the sun didn't implode, they will go to sleep as the carbon dioxide builds up and not wake up. Sounds a lot less terrifying than a toddler sinking in a fishing ship. Yeah, I made this point, Paul, yesterday, when I was saying, actually, if that's the case, if they do run out of oxygen, what happens is, because you don't run out of oxygen immediately, obviously there's too little of it to stay awake, so you actually fall asleep. So as ways to go are concerned, it's not the worst way to go, but still it does. I mean, look, I all things being equal, I would like the US and Canada Coast Guard to go and save anyone who's in trouble at sea, which is their legal obligation, by the way. But that ship that went down last week with the refugees and off the coast of Greece, there's evidence that they literally, the Greek authorities wouldn't take them because they weren't like moving, they were sitting in one place for quite a long time. And then a lot of ships came over to where the ship was when it was in trouble, and tried to get people off, but there was over 100 passengers in the hold who appear to have died, and it's horrific. And the fact that none of this needs to happen. My big criticism of the EU, and you know I'm a massive fan of the EU in general, but big criticism on refugee policy absolutely sucks. We should have a way that anyone can apply online to come to have refuge in Europe, and we have an allocation system depending on what those people, what languages they speak, if they've got any family contacts or friends in particular countries, and we have quotas. So it's based on the GDP and the population of any particular country, and it's shared out equally. Because this is something that we should all take a part in. We all signed up to the UN Declaration of Human Rights. Article 14 says you need to take people from other countries who are fleeing persecution. It doesn't mention anything about, but they've already gone through a safe country, so we don't have to take them. If that was the case, we wouldn't take any refugees at all. Thanks, Graham, says Colin. My internet is bad, but my internet's probably bad as well. Enjoy, had the best of time, hope the rain holds off. Like I say, if you want me to read your message, you're going to have to send a super chat because I'm not going to be able to get through all these. I envy Graham's enthusiasm, energy and enthusiasm. Thanks, number 3. Well, you know, got up dead early this morning to get here. But we drove straight in. It was amazing. It was like the easiest, I think, slide into Glastonbury ever. Trick is, don't take the northern route into the festival. Keep going down the M5 till you kind of go past the site and then take a left and then come in from the south. And then no one comes that way. Greek Coast Guard didn't respond. That's from Kieran. Yeah, I know. It's pretty horrific, actually. I'm a lot more upset about what happened last week off the coast of Greece than I am what's happened with this submersible, where I think, guys, what were you thinking? Like, seriously, it's so dangerous to do what they did. And they're getting a lot of people who are, professional people who are going out to try and help rescue them. Someone's got to pay for all that. EU can't force that on member states, though. That's some Yoni talking about the refugee thing. You don't have to force it on them. Get them all to sign up to it. Get them to sign up to a treaty, a European-wide treaty on refugees, on how we treat them and how they're facilitated. And basically, anyone coming into Greece or Italy or any other EU member state gets invited in, so you don't have to. At the moment, everyone's coming in from, on a boat. But how about we have a system where you can apply and then we will fly you in? It'll be a lot cheaper. I've got a helicopter at the moment. I'm sorry that's messing up the sound. I found my wings! Woo! Northern EU countries are not taking their share, including Ireland, sadly, says Kieran. The amount of news about these stop billionaires from YouTube I got, click not interested loads, and finally just closed the news tab. Yeah, vendettas. That's why I don't want to talk about it too much. But what I will talk about briefly, because obviously I can't chat forever on this. What time is it? I can't even see the time on this. It's coming up to 12 o'clock. So I'll only be on for a few more minutes because obviously I don't want to use all my battery on my phone, and I do want to show you the site. So I do want to go out there and see if we can get some signal out there in the actual site. I was here in 2017. I was here in 2017 when Jeremy Corbyn came and spoke on the main stage, and he also did a talk on another stage as well afterwards. And people say, oh yeah, 50,000 people turned out to see him. No, there were thousands of people there because there were bands on and we wanted to watch bands. It wasn't necessarily that we wanted to see Jeremy Corbyn. It was just there are bands on, someone comes in between the two bands and you're like, okay, well, I'll listen to this guy. And I was near the front. I had this big yellow bollocks to Brexit flag. I think it was the original bollocks to Brexit. I should have copyrighted that because I made a fortune. And just before Corbyn came on stage, there was a group of young women who all came out of the hospitality area to the left of the pyramid stage with these placards saying love JC and ooh Jeremy Corbyn and stuff. And then they were pushed through the crowd by security, like the security guy there with a high-vis vest. He pushed them through the crowd so they were near the front. And all those pictures that you see of the hippie girls with those, that was all staged. It was all staged. It wasn't spontaneous. It wasn't like someone already turned up thinking, I'll show my support. Yeah. But anyway, water under the bridge. Indeed, I watched Farsh's video on Corbyn's bad takes on Ukraine, really disappointing. Yeah. Also, there was going to be a film about Jeremy Corbyn that was going to be screened here, but then on review, they've seen that there's some anti-Semitic content on there, i.e., there's a scene where Alexis Sale, who's the narrator for some reason, says, shadowy forces stopped Jeremy Corbyn from becoming Prime Minister or whatever. A conspiracy theory. And who do they show while they're talking about this conspiracy theory? It's like the British Board of Deputies of Jewish Council. Okay. So you're showing some footage of Jewish people and saying there's a conspiracy. Yeah, don't do that. Just don't. Just don't. I'm not Jewish, but please don't. Old JC upside on the upside down pyramid stage. Oh yeah, Corbyn's foreign policy is terrible. It is indeed. So basically, I'm sorry about the beginning of this wasn't entirely awesome. I'm just trying to oh, there's our tent. Oh, sorry, I'm going to switch you around again because I want that camera. That's the camera I want. I can't actually see myself because my entire screen is taken up with your comments, which is nice, I guess. Rejoin EU party kicked off their campaign in Uxbridge and South Ruislip last night. They appear to be pro-EU Tories, trying to split the Labour vote and give Tories the seat. Yeah, there's something I experienced in the Remain campaign. There were a surprising amount of Tories in there, and most of them I think were genuine, like they wanted us to stay in the EU, but I would say there was a few, or maybe more than a few, whose job it was to try and make sure that we split the left-wing vote. Just saying. It's very telling that the leader of the People's Vote campaign was a guy called Roland Rudd. If his surname sounds familiar, his sister is Amber Rudd, who was a Tory MP. Privately educated, of course. And he was in charge, and literally a month before the December 2019 election, everything just fell apart for the People's Vote, and it was to do with Roland Rudd trying to sack people and people fighting back against it, etc. You mean David Cameron, but I can forgive any ignorance who says words. I still think it'll be funny if Rejoin EU win that one. It'll give Labour a kick. No, I want Labour to win it. Labour don't need a kick at the moment. Once they're in power, Vendetta, and they're not doing the things that we want them to do, then we'll give them a kick, all right? Can we just get the Tories out at the moment, because so many people are suffering under these absolute scumbags who are in charge at the moment. Roland Rudd is a new Labour donor who fed stories to Peston, indeed. Signal is pretty good, picture quality excellent. Hopefully the signal won't be too strained as more people arrive, says Nick and Dick. Well, I'm on Gift Gaff. So this is Gift Gaff Glastonbury, so well done Gift Gaff, keeping me online all this time. So listen, right, I am absolutely sweltering. It is really, really hot here. Obviously got my hat on. I should probably put some sun cream on as well. But I'm gonna drop in throughout the day. I'm just gonna sort of do very impromptu, like I'm at a stage or whatever, and I'll try and do that over the weekend and take you with me. If you want to join these chats, please do. I will try and do one at 9:30 tomorrow morning when I wake up, and that'll just be sitting here in the campsite, and we'll just be talking politics. But otherwise, we'll talk about Glastonbury, we'll talk about music, we'll talk about video games, whatever you guys want to talk about. That's all pretty cool. Oh, jealous! Don't forget your sunscreen. Yeah, I'm ginger. I burn in a stand-up fight with the sun. It's like I just get absolutely battered. I am often suspicious of people. I have good reason to be. Yeah, fair enough, Richard. I mean, you know. Consider all these privately educated in leadership. Someone should make a list of them, perhaps a website. Do you think, Don Donovan? Yeah, privateschoolmafia.com. But yeah, the leader of the SNP, Labour, the Lib Dems, the Tories, Reclaim, Refuck, or whatever it's called, Reform, UK. I think the leaders of the Greens as well. I'm not too sure about them, but at least 6 of our leaders of our political parties in this country went to private school. All I'm doing is pointing that out. You know, do with that information what you will. Oh, thanks very much for the £5 super chat there, One Angry Pagan. Sneaky Sunak may need a new nickname. Recession Rishi. No, I particularly like the Prime Miniature. I'll stop laughing about that because he's only little, but he's got big boots. Where are you today, Graham? A long brew. I'm at the Glastonbury. I'm at the Glastonbury Festival. Everyone's just setting up in the background here. Well, I'm going to take you inside in a moment. I'm going to take my phone inside, and we might be able to do a little bit of live streaming from inside the site proper and take you around. So yeah, that'll be fun. Robbo Rishi the robber, yeah. Slimy Sunak, the slime minister. He's a bit out of his depth, isn't he? Just like that submarine. Prime Miniature is hilarious. I always use that one. That's some Nick and do. Yeah. Apparently, children in the UK are getting considerably shorter because of our terrible diets, because the Tories have made it so kids aren't eating properly and are malnutritioned. Good that, innit? Good old Tories, looking after each other and themselves, and everyone else can go to hell. It's the Tory way. Anyway, I'm just coming up to half an hour. So thank you very much for watching. I'll be back periodically throughout the day, but I'll be definitely back tomorrow at 9:30. So thanks for watching, and until next time, hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.